Kublai pi barok kine kilong ki kubar bamenta kasngi u National BJP Secretary badai pej ya keme khalaya State in Charge u Anil Anthony ula Kynthoh jur ya ki Liang Pyrshah halor ka jing sim benta jongki ha ka jing ya keren ha ka special session jong ka parliament ka bala long nadu ka khandriu tarik hadu ka khat phra tarik u Yayong ha New Delhi haba keren sekilat patai kubor u Anthony ulaong bahagate ka session la wanra lightly ki bill ki bakong san Kynthoh ya ka constitution amendment bill ka balaya day bat ka women's reservation ka delimitation bill bat union territories law amendment bill ula batai ba ka women reservation bill kadai ka senjam ka bakong san ban penti kena ya ka jingyo benta ka babiang jong ki Kynthei ha ka sensyar pajba namar ki Kynthei ki long palat sanpho persen na ka jing don jong ki pajba hakari Kynthoh ka jing penthut jong ki Liang Pyrshah u Anthony ulaken u Anthony ulakenok ba ka seng Liang Pyrshah kum ka Congress TMC Samjawadi Party ba DMK ki la penthut ya ka jing yaj bet jong ka dorbar bat Pyrshah ya ban persyang ban pensange ya ka ne ka bel ka jing thmu jong ka sarkar ka lalong ban wanra ya ka hak kabayaran kat bad ka jingyo benta jong ki Kynthei ha ka sensyar pai ba Henry nakaliang Pyrshah ki lale da ka jing yale politics ka basniu ulaong pararu ba kamdei ka sin ka baningkong ba ki Liang Pyrshah ki yale ban Pyrshah ya ka ne ka bil da ka ba kedeu ya ki snem menskwa kum ka snem khat khandai spa khandai phunriu bad ki snem ki babut u Anthony ula penshai ba ka ne ka bil delimitation bat ka census ban penti kena ya ka jing ya sam jaka ka bahok habaro ki jella ulaong ba ka sarkar kala ai ka jing ya thu ka ba umdon ka bandu ya kisit ki badon lupa kino kisit ki bathamai en ai ka rukom ka barengkat bat ki Kynthei kin yo banta khambun ha parliament u Anthony ula keno ba ka congress bat ki parlok jongka ki la penbit ya ki pajba bat ki la le politics Pyrshah kane kadai ka jingkala ka ba kongsan bat kubor ya ki Kynthei Henry nakaliang Pyrshah kila persyang ban khanglat ya kane ka hok ulaong ula khot ya ki Kynthei hakari bakin pej bania ya ka banta jongki seng sain partai bat ban jubab ya ka rukom pai ba democratic halor kane ka banta ulaong ba ka sarkar kan pedeng ban pentrei ban penklan ya ka banta jongki Kynthei ha ka sensyar pai ba daka ba pen kut u Anthony ula Kynthoh ya ka jing yale jong ka Liang Pyrshah kum bat ulaong ba ka sarkar India kadang yai peteng ban ai jing yada ya ka hok bat ka benta jong ki Kynthei hakari
And the media fraternity for being here today. I'm joined today by senior BJP leaders of the state of Meghalaya, Mahila President Mrs. Arina Hemanta, State Office Bearer, State Secretary Mrs. Ansi Sangma, Mrs. Daniele Nonglat, Mrs. Suzuki Pariat, Dia Rathorji, and Priyambada Blaji. I'm here to discuss on some very important issues that the whole country had seen in the previous week. On the 16th, 17th, and 18th, a special session of the parliament was convened, and during the special session, three bills were moved by the union government. One was the Constitution 131st Amendment Bill, the second was the Delimitation Bill, and the third was the Union Territories Laws Amendment Bill. All the three laws were moved by the union government led by a prime minister with a historic motive to ensure that the women of the country, who constitute more than 50% of our population, gets equality and fairness in our democratic processes. However, unfortunately, in the 2 days where the session took place, the India Alliance members, the Congress Party, the Samajwadi Party, the TMC, the DMK, they all unfortunately sabotaged the bill. And finally, the bill that was moved by our Honorable Prime Minister with the sole intention to ensure justice and fairness and democratic participation for our women, it fell through. This is not the first time these kind of activities have happened, which was led by the Congress Party. There was a track record, a very clear track record of similar happenings in the past also. In 1996, it was the first time where then the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Devagowdaji's government, where the Women's Reservation Bill was bought by the government for the first time. At that point of time, also, the Congress Party that was giving them outside support did not support it, and the bill got sabotaged. Between 1998 and 2003, when the Honorable Prime Minister of India was Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, four times the Women's Reservation Bill was moved by the then NDA government. The bill requires two-third majority in both the houses. And the Congress party again during that time also ensured that the bill did not go through in the parliament. In 2010, it was the time of the UPA government, and during that time, the Bharatiya Janata Party, as a responsible opposition party, ensured that when the Congress party moved the bill in the Rajya Sabha, the party wholeheartedly supported that bill. But yet, because of electoral compulsions, the UPA government did not move the bill in the Lok Sabha, despite the chairperson of the Congress party and the UPA being a woman, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. The bill was not even moved in the Lok Sabha, and finally it did not pass again. In 2023, the Narendra Modi ji government passed the Women's Reservation Bill, and since in 2023 the NDA government had a very clear majority, the Congress had no other option but to support it, a pro forma endorsement when obstruction was no longer possible. However, according to the bill that was passed in 2023, it was linked to the delimitation process and the census of the currently ongoing census, which will only be over by 2027. And in the version that was passed in 2027, with that version, it would have been possible only to introduce the Women's Reservation Bill and make it applicable by 2034. So this parliament session was called by the NDA government to ensure that it is delinked from the delimitation process, and that in 2029 itself the bill can become a reality. However, once again, when it was moved in the parliament, the Congress party and the India Alliance members, they created a lot of false narration and ensured that the bill does not go through. The Honorable Home Minister of India, while answering many of the questions of the opposition, had very clearly mentioned that he and the government is willing to have an amendment of the bill that was moved in the parliament, where no state will lose any existing seats, and every state a 50% increase in state will be done in a equitable manner, so that finally in the newly composed house also the current composition of the parliament will be absolutely maintained. Every state in India, including the state of Meghalaya, would have seen an increase in Lok Sabha seat. Currently, Meghalaya have two Lok Sabha MPs. It would have become three, and it would have ensured that at least one out of three MPs in the state of Meghalaya also would always have been a woman. Such a opportunity unfortunately did not happen because of the negative politics of the Congress party and the India Alliance. The delimitation is a constitutional obligation that has been postponed for a long time, that has led to the serious imbalance in our representation. The current parliament at this moment, there are 545 seats, and the seats and the boundaries have been decided based on the last census that happened in the census that happened in 1971, when India's population was only 54 crore. Now India's population is 140 crore, and the current amendments and the bill that was brought in by the NDA government would have ensured that the current parliamentary realities would be, it will be proportionate to the existing realities in the country, and that our women, who are 50% of our population, would have got equitable democratic participation. However, the opposition has very clearly, they have tried to mislead the public. They have sabotaged one of the most important bills that have been brought into the parliament by any government, this time by the NDA governments, because the Congress and its allies fear that a woman receive their historic rights under the leadership of a prime minister, then remaining political ground they have will also slip away. And this is not surprising because this is in the same Congress party, the same India Alliance members that in 1980s they had denied justice to a woman, Shabano, and had then stood with some of the radicals of the Muslim community. And it is the same Congress party and the India Alliance, which even 3 years back, when the Narendra Modi government, when we abolished triple talaq, was again standing with a lot of reactionary forces. However, one thing which the Bharatiya Janata Party will absolutely ensure the population of India, the public of India, is that the Modi government will firmly fight this anti-woman forces in the opposition, the Congress party and the India Alliance members, for the rights of women, so that half the population of the country receives the place it rightfully deserves. The time has come for our women to respond through the power of their vote and push these arrogant and anti-woman parties to the margins of politics forever. The Bharatiya Janata Party strongly condemns the shameful, the undemocratic and anti-woman conduct of the opposition alliance, which we all witnessed in the parliament on the 16th and 17th of April. I thank you all for your attention. I